The stock market continues to have a low volume melt up, and we now have big tech earnings right around the corner. First up, let's take a look at the S&P 500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright, so today SPY was up 0.11% and we had a very exciting day of extremely flat price action. So keep in mind, that's exactly what we're looking for with this low volume melt up, and I've been talking about how we did not need high volume to go higher in the stock market as of a couple of weeks ago, and here we are continuing to see this low volume melt up. This is the behavior you get in a bull trend when everybody is trying to call a top and trying to call for the next crash and shorting the market. You're going to see the absence of selling, and you're going to get a very low volume drift higher, which is called that melt up. So as long as we have this bull trend with all of this bearish sentiment that continues to call for a crash, the path of least resistance in the bull trend is still going to be higher. As you can see, the 20 daily moving average is now extremely close to the price action, and it's going to be right here around this critical support at 411 within the next couple of days. So SPY 411 remains a very critical support. You can instantly get risk off if we close below it, but as long as we're above that level, we're likely going to continue to push higher. We still need to break that critical resistance at 414, and that is going to look like a weekly breakout if we do indeed get that close above that level. So you're either sitting in cash waiting for a break of this range, or you're staying with the swing trades in the direction of the trend, which is still bullish. So just continue to be patient and manage your risk around the support at 411 and the resistance at 414. Remember, this is a very low volume market, so don't be expecting any drastic moves, and I would not be surprised in the slightest if we just continue to go sideways before we go into FOMC next week. On the Nasdaq 100 triple Qs, we were down 0.21% today, and we're closing right on top of some very critical support where these moving averages are bunching up right around 316. That's not a critical support level, but it is relevant because we have a confluence of moving averages in this zone, and it is possible when the moving averages bunch up, we're going to get a big move away from those moving averages within the next few days. So there's a good chance the triple Qs are going to push down towards support at 312 or up towards this price target at the gap fill at 322, using this level at 316 as the launch pad from resistance or support. So for that reason, whether or not price is above or below 316 is going to be relevant because we're either going to 322 from 316 or down to 312. The trend is still bullish as long as we're above the 20 daily moving average, but as you can tell, we're very close to breaking down below it, which could mean we're coming down to retest the breakout between 311 and 312 or closing that gap at 308. Keep in mind, it is possible even if we go down to fill the gap at 308, we still come higher to fill the gap at 322. So even if we go lower and find support, we can still then bounce and go close the gap to the upside. Or we could bounce immediately from the zone and go fill the gap immediately. So the only thing that's going to tell you which one of these scenarios plays out is whether or not the price action is above or below 316. So I would watch the price action at that level. There's really no reason to get overly bearish while we have these bull trends, especially looking at the S&P 500. On the Dow Jones, we were up 0.19% today, and the Dow Jones has price action still above all the moving averages, and as you can tell from the moving averages, we still do have a strong bull trend. I talked about this on the weekend chart weekly analysis that the Dow Jones was looking ready to break out and start moving from that sideways consolidation. So wait on the daily chart for that break of 340, and we should start marching higher towards 346 to 350. Remember, these bull trends means the path of least resistance is still higher until we see price action breaking through critical support, and in the Dow, that's going to be 334. On the Russell 2000 IWM ETF, we were down 0.07% today with a doji candle right above the rising 20 daily moving average of support at 176, and we still have resistance now at 179. This is a $3 range, and the break of this range is likely going to lead to a gap fill. So the break of 179 means we go close the gap above 181, and the break of 176 means we likely go fill the gap at 172. The Bollinger Bands are squeezing, and we have critical resistance just above, so if we do get a breakout, we could get a very impulsive push to the upside, with the bullish catalyst being the break of 179 and 181, and the bearish catalyst being the break of support at 176. On the ARKK ETF, we were down 1.36% today, and the ARK ETF is in danger of going back into a bear trend. And if we do break down below this neckline of support at 37, we are going to validate this double triple top, which could take us all the way back down towards 32. This is very close to breaking down. We just need to break support at 37 and 36, and then we're likely continuing into the bear market downtrend in the ARK ETF. For that reason, do not get bullish until we can clear above this critical resistance zone at 40.5. On the VIX, we were up 0.72% today, and intraday, the VIX was trying to break out above 18, which is where that negative 20 daily moving average is, and we got rejected and the VIX got crushed yet again, closing down below all the moving averages and continuing into the bear trend. This is the exact behavior of low fear you expect to see in a bull trend, and that's exactly why we have a low VIX, because we still have a bull trend in the S&P 500. On Bitcoin, we're currently down about 0.62%, and Bitcoin is trading right on top of the support zone at 27,000, which is also the rising 50 EMA. If we break support at 27,000, we should come all the way back down towards 25,000, and you really should not be bullish if we break that support, because we could be going much lower than that. If you're waiting to get bullish, I would wait for a break back over 29,000 or the 20 daily moving average. On Google stock, we were up 0.53% today as Google is continuing with the bull trend with the price action above all the moving averages and holding on to that bull trend, and we do have gaps to fill at 106.84 and just below 110. There's a very good chance we at least fill the gap right around 107 by tomorrow, and we have earnings after the bell, so it's going to depend on the earnings report of whether or not we can push higher out of this range, or if we're going to go lower back down towards support at 100. So if you're in Google stock, be aware earnings is right around the corner and your risk level currently is going to be right around 104 to 105. And if we break that, we're likely coming back down towards 100 to 102. On Amazon stock, we were down 0.7% today, and Amazon did reach our price target that we were expecting to see before earnings, which was that gap fill at 109. With that price target met and being overextended outside the daily Bollinger Band, it was time to lock in profits, and that's exactly what traders did today, and we did close back down below the 200 daily moving average. So with earnings right around the corner and already reaching the price target we were looking for, I see no reason why you should be taking any risk in Amazon stock until it can start closing over the 200 daily moving average. So yes, it's still in a bull trend, but we're below the 200 daily moving average and we reached the price target, so it's time to be defensive and make sure you're being smart about your trades. And this is really a dead trade until after earnings. If you want to stay long in Amazon, that's completely fine, but you need to manage your risk at support at 104 and 102. On Microsoft stock, we were down 1.4% today, and we did close the gap to the downside at 281, and we did break down below the 20 daily moving average at 285. So from here, it's possible we go close the gap at 276 and test the support zone right around 274. If you're waiting to get bullish in Microsoft, you really need to break back over 285. Because of this rejection at 290, it is possible we are coming down to fill the gaps before we go any higher. Another resistance to pay attention to is going to be right around 283. On Nvidia stock, we were down 0.28% today, and we traded the whole range of support at 267 all the way up to the resistance at 274, and we are starting to close down below the 20 daily moving average. This is really just a sideways trading range between the lows at 264 and the highs at 280. So you really have no trade until we break out of this range unless you're trading between support and resistance and just trading the range. We're not getting bearish in Nvidia until it breaks down below support at 262, and then we'll likely come all the way back down to 242, but we need confirmation of the price action breaking support. The next bull breakout would be a break above 274 and 280, and we still have that price target up there at 282.5. On Tesla stock, we were down 1.53% today, and Tesla did bounce off of that support at 160, and it was just way too far overextended outside the lower Bollinger Band, so this is still somewhat of just a dead cat bounce. We have a gap to fill at 146 and a gap to fill at 177, and there's no telling which gap is going to fill first. Typically, the direction of the trend is the gap I would be paying attention to, and we are in a downtrend as long as we're trading below 167, so there's a good chance we are going lower to fill the gap. But if it's too obvious or we get too oversold, don't be surprised if we get a little bit of a dead cat bounce before we go fill the gap to the downside. So it is possible to get an impulsive bounce from here all the way back up into the 170s and then still go down there and close that gap at 146. So if you're trading Tesla and you're shorting Tesla, you still need to manage risk very well down here, because shorting down here at the support is basically shorting the whole, and that is very risky to do. Your risk level for shorts is right up here at 167 and 173, and obviously if we break that resistance, we're looking for the full gap close above 177. On Apple stock, we're up 0.2% today with a beautiful bounce off the rising 20 daily moving average, so we still have the bull trend and we're still above the risk level at 163 and 165, which means we could still reach our price target before earnings at 169 and that gap fill at 171. There's no reason to be bearish on Apple while it's in a bull trend above support, so manage your risk right here at 163. On the financials, we were down 0.24% today, and the financials are still trying to build up that bull trend, but we need to get back over that 200 daily moving average just below 34. The industrials were up 0.24% today, continuing to build on that bull trend, but still needing to break that resistance at 101.5. The healthcare sector was up 0.56% today, back into the bull trend and back over 134, so it does look like we're going to attempt to push to new daily higher highs within the next few trading days. The energy sector was up 1.53% today with a very powerful bounce off of the rising 50 EMA, and we now have the bull trend, so you can stay bullish as long as we're above this support zone at 84.6. So jumping back over to the S&P 500, this is a very low volume melt up market, which means the path of least resistance is still higher in the absence of sellers, and we have a lot of big tech earnings right around the corner. Keep in mind the market has priced in nearly every scenario you can possibly think of, so it's much more important to simply follow the chart and do what the price action and trend are telling you. If you think you're smarter than the market, then the market is going to humble you very quickly, so get in the habit of doing only what the chart is telling you. And right now the chart is still telling us we're above critical support with a bull trend, so this is still a bullish looking chart. If you want to come trade with other price action traders and get access to all of my intraday updates and analysis, come join us over at the Stocks Channel Trading Discord community. I also have my own trade alert service called Bank Trade Alerts that sends you all of your buy and sell alerts directly via email and text message, and only trades the ETFs TQQQ and SQQQ. To find out how to join the Stocks Channel Discord or Bank Trade Alerts by clicking on the links in the description of this video. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.